Welcome, it's the Crypto Sniper. Two of my favorite trades, possibly of all time, must be in my top three almost of all time, are in the traditional markets, the USD versus the Korean won, and in the crypto markets, the USD XRP. And I'm sitting here and I'm wondering, is it possible that my two favorite trades, totally different world, one about geopolitics, financial currencies, way off in Asia, and a statist XRP rail system through the Ripple enterprises actually have a cross-section that could turbocharge both these trades into infinity and beyond? I'm here. I'm Francis. I'm going to explain to you what I'm talking about. Let's go to an article that I was recently reading that's helped join a little bit of a dot or two for me. It's on CoinDesk. Here we go. XRP trading is once again leading the charts on South Korea's biggest crypto exchanges. That's meaning it's doing the highest volume. Most of the interest is there. How much? Well, the article thankfully goes on to say total trading volume against the one that's that over there, which is the USD Korean won, their currency, on Upbit, Bithumb, Corbit, the country's largest exchanges by volumes and users. So these are the three biggest exchanges by volumes and users in South Korea. That's their Binance, their KuCoin, their Bitfinex, whatever the case may be, their top three. And their volume topped $800 million in dollar value in the past 24 hours. Now, I want to highlight that this article came out December 31st, 2024. So it's not the 1st of January. Happy New Year to you all. There you go, your first Crypto Sniper vid. Bang on, the big number one, it says. That's right, so I hope you all had a great New Year. But back to this key story that is breaking right here. On the last day of 2024, the volumes in the past 24 hours, so they would have included the 30th through into the beginning of the 31st, topped 800 million USD by dollar value. So obviously it'll be in the one and XRP. And it doesn't also mean it's all buying or selling. It just means a lot of action. The price moves on the 30th and the 31st weren't particularly spectacular in either direction for XRP. XRP registered over 200 million in volumes on Bithumb, 600 million on Upbit, and Bitcoin, remember, the original, supposedly, by the way, Ripple were already talking about and developing their XRP apparently before Bitcoin was released. But anyway, let's just stick with Bitcoin, the original, for now. Trading volumes, less than half those on both those exchanges. So the most dominant accepted godfather of cryptos is trading less than half. And other very popular tokens such as Doggy or Ether. Now, ETH, USD, second by market cap. Doggy, well, you know, it's a meme coin. It'll pump and it'll go quiet. I'm not going to lay too much store on that. But ETH, number two, was even lower, reaching just a tenth of the demand seen for XRP. So something's happening in South Korea, and somebody believes they've got some kind of an idea that is seeing an immense amount of activity in XRP taking place in South Korea. So much so that 10 times more volume has traded in that 24-hour period. Now, 24 hours is not a week, a month, or a year. We can't take a small smidgen of data and lose our heads too much about it. But I'll speak more on this in a second. A wild increase in trading volume, so this is where they go into telling you what they think it means, which is as good as anybody else's opinion, is often a harbinger of increased volatility. It can be, it doesn't have to be. It often can precede a major upside move, and we were talking about this in the community, and we were loading back our XRP, those that had taken it off. I'll come back to, but you said Bitcoin crash and debt crash, all the people that are going to write in the comments about that in a bit as well. So park your criticisms, just hit that like button for the update on the last day of the year and the first day of the year. So what we're actually seeing is a possible increase in volatility. It also could signal the asset might be at a peak or a trough. So that often is a turning, an inflection point. So you've been having XRP drift down towards that $2 mark, having hit 290 at its peaks. So potentially leading to price reversal. So we've actually been in a bit of a benign to bad period for crypto as well. Hence why the videos and the scenario cast of a possible Bitcoin sell-off. Let's just deal with this right now because I know what's going to happen in the comments. So you have many scenarios. That doesn't mean you are overly committed to one or other. If you only have one scenario, that means you are very narrow-minded. In fact, you can have many scenarios and they can all be valid, but the firing order and sequence can be a jumble and you get the order wrong. That can still hurt you. In short, the Bitcoin head and shoulders could happen, but it could happen later. You first might get an XRP pump, for example, to $3.20. We'll talk targets and more in a little bit. And then the debt contagion comes and then you get your Bitcoin scenario, or it could be the other way around, etc., etc. So you're building these colored balls, green and red for good and bad. These are all scenario casts given real charts and data and events. And they often do play out, but they play out in different sequences and orders. And you have to try frame for which one is the more dominant one. Big bearish aspects on the Bitcoin, potentially the debt and all the macro is still a demand destroying event. Okay, can happen. But in the meantime, we've had a bit of a crypto run since we've been talking about DD, and that gets pushed outwards, backwards. Then it can warm up a little bit. Then it can go cold a little bit. Smaller setups can come into play to the opposite direction in between. So you have all these bubbles and you are developing scenarios, and you have to know which one for the short term, medium term, and long term you are putting in which order. Okay, let's get on with this. High volumes might precede a price breakout, volatility increase. I would say less volatility increase, but an inflection point. We've seen a brisk move up on XRP now, and we were talking about this before that move really commenced in the community, and now we're seeing it, and it inspired me to do this video. South Korean traders are known for pushing euphoric rallies, so they lose their stuff and they go full max leverage on tokens, contributing to buying pressure and possible influencing of prices. By the way, small sidebar, Squid Games 2 came out, and there's a couple of YouTubers who pumped cryptos that lost all their value as characters in Squid Games 2. Kind of like art mimicking reality, isn't it? Anyway, XRP has emerged as a major token of choice for Korean traders in 2024. Why specifically Korea? What do they think they know? With political developments often causing a sudden move in XRP markets locally. Why are they not buying Bitcoin? Why are they not buying dollars? Or USDTs if they're unsure about the crypto markets? And why are they not choosing Ethereum, which is a bigger market cap and is an alt as well? It's XRP that's caught their imagination. Tuesday's volume bump came up as a South Korean court issued an arrest warrant for President Yoon Suk Yeol early Tuesday. The warrant was sought over Yoon's controversial and short-lived decision to impose martial law early in December. Now we get into the geopolitics and the USD Korean won as well. So as I was mentioning, there's actually similarities in, and we showed this in previous videos. It might be worth a show again. Let's put it on. USD Korean won on our macro time frame has a very similar chart to the XRP. So similar, in fact, that we've drawn it for you a couple of times. We've even annotated it. And this, the only difference is, as with traditional markets, crypto is dog years. They move, a lot more happens, and it's in shorter time frames. The big traditional markets can often take ages before events actually transpire. We have a really big halvening of the Korean won, 100%, with possible likelihood of an overshoot, meaning even more than 100% could transpire on this particular pair. So that is really, really interesting, and that is a massive move. I want to show you that structure. It's 30 years in the making. I'm hoping that we'll be able to get it up in the end here, and I want to show you also the technical draw that I want to do with us. So we're going to log scale this, pull it through. We've got a monthly chart here, and we're going to show you that history. Whilst I'm here, I want to also show you that you had this smaller early origin. I don't have data, ironically, pre-1982 on the one. Certainly it's the longest history that I have here on this particular chart. But you might notice there was a foundational upside HVF squeezy Japanesey with real blow off and gaps. Now I touched on this last time, but some people will be watching this video for the first time, maybe didn't see the other one. So if you watch both, be patient with us. This is real blow off spikermentals. So when things get scary weird, the Korean won totally collapses. This is not a point of view where the central banks have a particularly good track record of excessive crises being able to hold their currency together. Even the post-2007 to 2008 events saw extreme moves in the currency. Just to give you an idea on that subprime event, 890, next thing you know, not too much later, you actually get 1500. So less than 900 to 1500, 600 move. That's a 66% move in their currency in quite a short time frame. Now remember, every single candle is a full month here. So short might in fact be a year. It might even be 18 months, for example. But in currency terms, to lose 66% is epic. And of course, everyone would put that down to subprime. Well, that's how the dollar rolls when it gets at dollar super spikes. So let's forget about the original foundational one for now and just look at the big structure, because it is very similar. It's called a spikermental upside HVF, and we have it in our sights. And in actual fact, we're waiting for this jaw to fix itself a little bit. There we go. And there we go. That was our key triggering event for a major move in the one, which is pointing to geopolitical risks. This is the KIMCHI factor that could make the XRPKRW your very best trade of the decade. XRPKRW. Only possibly to be beaten maybe in percentage terms, but less liquid. XLM, that is Lumen, Stellar Lumen, KRW in a similar way, just because of it's likely to mimic XRP, does have a similar technical structure to XRP, which we'll be showing you shortly. But the move in Korea, if we get a major currency crisis in a highly crypto alert nation, the Gen Zs and the Gen Ys and even some of the Gen Xs will get their boomer family members out of the local currency. Remember, this didn't exist as an alternative during the 96, 95, 96, 97 Asian crisis, and it's tough for them even to have got dollars, never mind to have bought something that lives in the ether as a digital currency that only exists since 2009. And it started its existence from here after the last major macro crisis. Obviously, CV19 was a huge crisis in of itself, and it set up that down leg over there for the dollar before climbing back up. So there is going to be political risk in Korea, and one of the most crypto alert nations with young, technocratic, digitized youth and even mature markets are probably going to look at investments in XRP because they've shown that already before. There is a specific Korean interest in the XRP token. So let's go to the XRP chart itself as well. That was Bitcoin, by the way, still churning in and around this level, 93. That's the bear scenario. It could extend. All of this could extend. You could also have, it could break and jump back into the front of the queue. We keep all these scenario casts rather than forecasts. A forecast, let's just differentiate that, because really, I know it's often the lowest common denominator, and the smart people get this, but a forecast is something that you say is your expected outcome 100%. So people forecast, the Springboks are going to beat Georgia in rugby. They are really pretty high conviction on that. Scenario cost is there's much more of a mixed possibility of outcomes, and you're contemplating the order in which they may occur. It's very hard to guess all of the possible outcomes and to stack them in the right firing sequence. So you say, here is a threat scenario, and here's the reasons why that's a threat scenario. You discuss it. Now you come onto YouTube and you talk about, here's an XRP win scenario, which I'm busy doing now, that could occur in, around, or before. In fact, the two scenarios, if you have two dominant scenarios, one bearish and one bullish, the bullish one can split and you can get a little bit of the bullish bubbles before the big red, you get a big red hit, and then you get the rest of the green bubble coming afterwards. You could have the red one split up and you can have it come in slow pieces, which is kind of pullback periods are slow. They really manage the debt deflation in bits, and then the minute starts to get a bit too fearful, they give some relief, some QE. In fact, these things can manifest in a very complex way. These are how I think about trading future possibilities. We develop scenario costs, many of them often, but there's two dominant ones I've discussed here, which is a bullish moment potentially for XRP and a bearish moment for crypto and XRP in the previous videos about this head and shoulders. Anyway, so having explained that, we were looking at the lower time frame once we were watching this volume and seeing the possible role of one particular nation. Remember, the market caps are not that big. They had a really big run into it from a panicking first world nation. I often remind everybody, Samsung, Korea, Kia and Hyundai, lots of big brands made in South Korea, real first world nation. Can, if there's a big weighting of people choosing one particular token, can march that token to quite some extensive degree if there is an inherent belief and bias for purchasing that token. And given their activity 2 days ago and the subsequent move, they were buying along the lows of the two. They would have been buying in this zone. So the 30th and the 31st was all along here, which turns out to be pretty good buys. 30 through to the 31st, let's say in and around here. What did we actually get? We got support at the 2 after a minor technical break by a couple of wicks. And then we got reversal structure, a left shoulder, a W bottom, so let's draw that, and our usual potential HVF in the right shoulder. So there's a weak left shoulder. You often, after small shoulders, get more complex heads. That's your W head. And they usually split down the middle. So you can see there's quite good symmetry typically. How's that symmetry work? It goes like this. This is the kind of things, because it wasn't in Schumpeter, whatever textbook, that traditional Twitter technical analysts that just bought a textbook and have married themselves to it won't be able to show you. You can see the evenness of the two halves. You get two even halves when you get a W head. And then you get the right shoulder, which actually comes at you twice because it's setting up an HVF structure there, and then it goes. So you actually had a squeezy in your right shoulder. You had a small left shoulder, and you got a W head. I'm afraid that's going to be beyond the likes of the people that follow Peter Brunt on Twitter, because it's not in his textbook of the guy he read. This target has been made. That was made. How do you generate it? Well, it's very similar to a W bottom. The neckline is chosen. Logical round number 2.1275. Project the upside, and there you go. That's it. But be aware, once you've had a key reversal on what has been a downward, this is 15-minute charts, we're doing really low time frame stuff here. Once you've had a key reversal on something that has been trending down for quite a period, you had the collapse there where you traded again below the 2, then you bounced up to here quite whipsaw, very reactionary, and then you've been drifting. Anyone who wanted to sell got out, including me, only I get back in quickly. I just don't like managing losses. This could have broken. I'm safe. So I'm quite happy to see the support come in. I don't have to buy at 2. I'm okay with buying at 212 and at 215 if it's going back up, and selling at 220 and not taking the risk of this being run and turning into a collapse. And scenario A, bear scenario, Bitcoin head and shoulder, actually going into contagion and collapse. That's the cost. You get back in a little higher. But those guys were buying. Those guys were buying the day before, yesterday, and yesterday. And that's interesting to me. At the same time, they have a political crisis that's going to harden that currency, as I was showing you on a much bigger time frame. That was a monthly chart that we were showing you on the Korean one. Let's get it back up again. Where was it? There it is. That's a huge monthly chart of significance that's taken 30 years to happen. This is why it's my favorite. It also happens to have the best structure. Real, wild, fast moves. That's why it's a great trade to hold. Most of the time doing nothing. Most of the time just drifting back off, going sideways. But when it runs hard. This target up top here is going to be super, super powerful, making the XRP or XLM Korean one ideally the best trade. But how do you trade that? Well, you trade XRP, USD stroke USDT or USDC if you're afraid about Tether, and you go on a traditional platform and you long USD Korean one. That means you short dollar to go long XRP, and you long dollar the same amount to short the Korean one that you expect to halve. That is how you put on the XRP stroke XLM trade of the decade. In a macro halvening move on the currency, that's going to give you a 2x multiplier on whatever you make on XRP. Let's go back to XRP and have a look at the setup that might have just been saved. So the setup that might have just been saved, let's take it up a time frame and see how it's doing. That's how it's doing. Now, one single little swallow does not a summer make. This may be a reversal. But you could also be whipsawed. This could go down. You've already seen a bit of a wick fizzle there. So you could go down, soften, and you could still run this and take out that. That would see red bubble come before green bubble. Possibly, or even a smaller red bubble, a different scenario cast for a minor sell-off jump in front. The big red still goes further back and you get the green in between. Can you understand the complexity of discussing scenarios with you? It's not, oh, flip-flop, changed his mind, whatever the case may be. You need to stay fluid. You need to have multiple scenarios. You need to understand different time frames of analysis. You need to understand it's a dynamic environment and the order you originally thought can be shuffled, but the scenarios all valid. You need to realize there's scenarios you haven't thought of that could come to bear, and you have to keep looking for new setups. So you've got all these possibilities on your table that you are ordering by size, which will have the biggest effect. That affects big and large time frame, which is your investment, versus shorter time frame, medium time frame, which could give you leverage trades, etc., etc., and some that are inside the short, medium, and large time frame, like XRP was, which was why we were trading the small HVFs to break into the big HVF, which is why we got in early and made some big loot on it when it happened. But it'll also mean you'll be wrong. You'll be wrong by scenario. You'll be wrong by timing. You'll be wrong by firing order, and that's okay. Just shift and take small losses and reassess. So this particular structure still has me a bit nervous, if I'm honest. I'm not calling it the sweetest of them all. However, the rest of crypto has in fact gone largely lower during this period. However, XRP has held a line. So even though this has been squashed descending triangle-like, as many would say, mainly across the top here, you've seen it come in here as well, crushed across the top. So you got squashed there, and then you got pushed all the way. And this is very, very flat along that $2 mark. It's actually been a bearish period for crypto. Bitcoin went from 108 and is now 95 or 94K. That's a lot of loss. 8K plus another 5 or 6, that's 13K off that. It's over 10%. It's going on 12.5%. So to have held the 2 level is showing some element of technical bid that keeps coming in, whilst the others haven't. In fact, XLM, XRP's smaller brother, didn't have that same element of bid, even though it is also had a little bit of a stir, and in percentage terms right now has made a bigger percent move, smaller market cap, than XRP. You can see it has made a flag. We believe this is a flag, and you can see during this bearish period for Bitcoin, You were coming in and selling off over here. You were coming in, it was getting harder and harder to go up. The highs were getting a lot lower. In fact, you were getting falling wedge squeezed inside your flag on a diagonal that's just bumped and broken and brought you back above your splitter that is in there. Flags are continuation patterns, and inside the flag you were crushed along the basing descending grind line, which is this one I'm about to double up for you. You see, we even needed to create the language to describe the subsets of individual technical patterns because it doesn't exist. Some things are still in a developmental era for those of you that learned everything from a textbook and need somebody to lay down some rails, phraseology and accuracy for you so that you can express things. So that falling wedge in there is like that. That's its splitter, has popped, but it's still in the flag. That doesn't mean you've triggered the continuation of the flag. And as I'm highlighting, the relative strength has seen new lows take place for XLM. That is not as big and is not as senior, and therefore has less of a macro following probably than XRP does, although categorized very similarly. So watch this as well. But the point on XRP holding the $2 should be clear now. XLM is silver to XRP's gold. It might run a bigger percentage in the end, but it won't hold a level near as well on the in-between phases. It's a higher beta. Okay, so XLM, XRP, now both being discussed. You understand that we see it now being in a bull flag with a possibility of upside. This descending triangle setup on XRP, well, we need to see further upside, but we'll consider it a break once you take out that high. What is the high? Well, we put it in a nice green box for all our community members. You just have to get the draw right. 2.38. So when you get above 2.38, you will be in a breakout for us, and you'll be heading through 3.20 if the pattern is successful and no major events intervene on Bitcoin, like the big red bubble that wants to stop the green bubble from finishing and splits it in half and pulls it back because there's a big puke. Okay, so there's that tube, there's that firing sequence, red and green bubbles, Okay, you've seen them all. Think of the bubbles that you see in this, showing you who's moved the most in the last hour. Well, let's do today. That'll show you who's been big. And you'll see XLM 17.8, Phantom's done pretty well. XRP, a very big market cap compared to most of these other movers, 6.24. By the way, other status tokens, HBAR turned, Algo turned, Quant has turned, IOTA has turned, XDC has turned. Can you see the theme? Statist, and you've got Trump or Drumpf showing up on the 20th, and who knows what might be said. But Bonk, LDO, PulseX, Theta, they are all down. ADA, also slightly status, I will argue, is up as well. Not as much, not as central to the statism, but you know, Charles has been selected for a couple of things, so ADA will get some of the benefits. So once again, these guys, XRP, HBAR, Algo, FTX is getting close to a distribution, by the way, so that's why FTT might actually be getting some interest. Quant, IOTA, and XLM and XDC. They literally all the core status rails for your future CBDCs, and you guessed it, your digital prison. I won't go too far down that hole right now. I don't want it to be too long a video. So that's it. 3.2 is the potential target if it triggers. It is a bit of a flat bottomer, but it's survived and it's held its level in an environment where Bitcoin, let's get that date, that is 3rd of December. How's Bitcoin done since the 3rd of December on a similar time frame? Let's have a look. 3rd of December. In fact, Bitcoin since the 17th of December has gone from that 108 to what it is now. How has XRP done from the 17th of December? There's 17th of December. It was at a high of 2.72, and it's still held this level in an environment that Bitcoin made new lows. That's impressive. Now, those of you who followed this crypto channel for many, many years will know we once called Sol a super long for doing a similar, not so great, low leaning, low slung pattern when everyone else did a falling wedge and actually made new lows. After that, Sol pumped incredibly hard for holding that level. In short, it was a key moment for Sol, not today. This was historical. Let's go up. We're going to need to see this on a bigger time frame. It's held its level incredibly strongly, only to make new highs. That is where it was, friends, fellows, and countrymen. Bitcoin was doing a falling wedge during that period, and it was at the 44,000s before making 64,000. I'm going to move that box out the way and take you back. This is not a beautiful structure. It's similar to the XRP structure. Can you see it? Very flat bottomed. However, everything else made a new low. This did not. People in the know, surprise, surprise, you thought it was a democratic. You like the word democratic, do you? You thought it was a fair Chinese walls and democratic game. No. Foolish person. Stop that right away. It's never democratic. Insiders bought the panicking retail only for Sol to go from $22 to $260. That's right, more than a 10x. Watch it right here. We called that an upside trade. There is the move, 260 it was. That wasn't the final high. There's your final high. Boom. 259.55. Made on another HVF upside thing. So the question I'm putting to you is XRP doing a Sol right now? Is XRP doing a Sol right now? These lower time frames point to a small time frame target make on a reversal pattern that we've already explained, and potentially this is the case. By the way, if the politics start going wrong early in the new year, don't forget you had a president declare martial law, is now being arrested. I expect escalations. I expect it to come soon. The Korean won collapse may be XRP holders' biggest friend. The geopolitical risk, hear this important statement now, the geopolitical risk in Sol could turn out to be the biggest friend to XRP holders because Koreans may exit for this token. Now, people say, well, they probably will exit. They'll also take some other currencies as well. People don't tend to exchange a currency for a token necessarily. Well, we've seen already, as associated in the CoinDesk article, during political uncertainty, there has been high volumes in XRP. And actually, in the days following those high volumes, there was lots of selling in the stack. People were afraid it was going down. They were absorbing all that. Subsequently, all the sellers are gone and we went up. We went up and the $2 held, and there was no way to know that. But they seem to be in on it, and they've certainly been happy to dump Korean won for the XRP. So, ladies and gentlemen, I want to finish this YouTube. Thank you for the likes and shares. Happy New Year. Please understand what scenario casting is and having multiple potential scenarios that are being ordered, that are increasing, decreasing, being resized, being repositioned in firing order. This is not, we've pivoted from bear to bull in a simplistic binary sense. We're talking about events we expect to happen, and we're uncertain about when, what will happen, whether the full event will be allowed to happen. Is it bearish, that event? And we can be simultaneously bullish in another level. The $2 holding point for XRP is bullish, like it was for me on Sol in all those years ago that took it up to $260. As a result, being long XRP is something I want to do, and I want to see the Korean won collapse. Sorry, South Korean people, I hope it's not too serious, but it points to a major move into XRP, and I hope they make lots of money in XRP to compensate for whatever happens in South Korea. Till next time, hit the like button and share. Thank you for joining me on the very first day of January. You guessed it. By the way, that free mini course link below and book a call. It's below. Have you taken your goals yet? Have you written them down? Have you framed them yet? What? No? Write it down. Maximize wealth at the top. Buy yourself freedom. goes with that. Maximize my wealth so I can buy myself freedom. How am I going to do that? Learn HVF method. Free course link below. Book a call. Get in the community so that you can be part of positioning the bubbles, both green and red, and understanding and seeing the clues and joining in the great game theory world of life. That will see you have a better experience just for being wealthier. Sad but true, I don't make the rules. You can decide, do you want to go through this experience slow and poor in a polarized world, or do you want to be part of the group that get it right and really maximize their wealth? You know what to do. Hit that link below. Let's see if we get 320 on XRP on a mini surge forward. And remember, the Sol hopelessly overperformed. This could kick in to a next level move for XRP, which could make a little bit of XLM interesting, maybe in the highest beta sense. There's H bar. Where's our Sol again? Did I kill it? There it is. Right there. The target was 68. In the end, it made 260. Even as part of that move, you got your pullback in Sol. It then ripped all the way to 214. Imagine you've got a target of 68, and in short succession, it's at 214. Overperformance. Macro targets on XRP unchanged. Guys can write in the comment, the guy's calling crash, the same guy who said XRP 20. We've never not said 20. We still say 20. When we say bearish things, we still mean 20. Until the XRP pattern invalidates, it's always 20. Try understand that. Try understand that. We see the comments. I'll reply to some. Some guys are already doing it for us that understand this. Try understand. XRP, until that pattern invalidates, is a $20 call with overperformance. It could start soon with geopolitical risk in the new year in South Korea. You now have a reason to read the KIMCHI news going forward. Till next time, I salute you. Bye.
Tired of profit wipeouts and blown accounts from following trade signal groups and other YouTube channels? Looking for a better way to trade, reduce your stress, and minimize your risk? Become a skilled technical analyst and see the charts and markets in a new light using the successfully proven HVF method by Francis Hunt, while being surrounded and supported by a principled, structured, and experienced community. Enjoy a constructive learning environment while practically trading markets, supported by a bespoke platform run through browser and app, specifically designed to teach and engage you whilst learning and growing as the markets move. This is not a Telegram or Slack signal group. All trade ideas are based on a proprietary technical analysis process honed over decades, which is the HVF method, leading to trade ideas with fast-moving breakouts and tight stops, exact entries and exits, nuanced interim considerations, and ultimately, strong rewards. Submissions are graded and scored by Francis for potential high-quality setups, and we provide bespoke tools to help get the job done properly and with precision. Over time and with focused effort, you'll begin to look at charts and price action just like Francis. Community updates every day by Francis and our 3 webinars a week provide a 360-degree approach, which are presented by our experienced team of trade leaders to spot potential trades. We're a community of self-actualized individuals, spanning the globe and active 24/7, 365. The premium community provides a warm, supportive, and cooperative place for people willing to listen, participate, contribute, and to learn. We've changed thousands of traders' lives. Transform your approach to trading now. Transform your life. Book an introductory call with us on the link below.